Ann Bell was born Jane Ann Bishop, December 17, 1950, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to her parents Jane and Maurice Bishop. She has one brother, Eddie, who also was a well-known musician in Tulsa during the late 60s and early 70s. She attended Edison High School and was part of the 1969 graduating class. At the age of 16, she began her professional music career when she joined her high school friends Dick Gordon Jr., Max Wisely, Bill Phillips, and Wayne Evans, forming the band The Rubbery Cargo. They were discovered by a Tulsa dance instructor, Skilly Forsman, and instantly signed to a contract to perform regularly at a teenage club that Skilly opened in Tulsa called The Machine. It was here that Ann met and married, at age 17, Tulsa's own legendary musician Larry Bell in 1968. She joined up with Larry's band at the time, the Sunday Servants, along with members Tommy Triplehorn, Gary Sanders, John Rigney, and Carl Day. Ann and Larry went on as founders of several of Tulsa's predominant bands through the late 60s and early 70s, including the Larry and Ann Bell Band, with Gary Gilmore, Gary Sanders, Valentino Pina, and Tommy Triplehorn. A version of Tulsa County with Jim Sweeney, Jim Byfield, Jamie Oldacre, and Dick Sims. And the Ann Bell and Jim Sweeney Together Band, with Rick Durbin, Rick Belkey, Vaughn Cochran, Carl Pickhart, David Teagarden, and Steve Bailey. They were also in LSD and C Band with David Teagarden, Skip Van Winkle Nape, and Carl Day. The Ann Bell and Foons Band with Pete Marriott, Frank Padilla, Bev Lewis, Betsy Smittle, and Carl Pickhart. The Medicine Band with Gary Lucas, Don Duca, Larry Bell, Bill Calsill, and Valentino Pina. Ann sang on many gigs as a guest artist with Bill Davis, Gary Busey, Chuck Blackwell, Jimmy Karstein, Jim Keltner, The Gap Band, J.J. Cale, Steve Hickerson, and Phil Driscoll. She and Larry divorced in 1971. In 1973, Ann joined her dearest friend of many years, Leon Russell, and toured and recorded with him until late 1977. She left Leon and joined up with Joe Cocker and began touring and recording with him from 1977 to 1981. She moved to Woodstock, New York in 1977 and married Woodstock promoter Michael Lang in 1978, whom she divorced in 1986. She began another leg of her career in Woodstock during the late 1970s through the 1990s, recording and touring with Mick Ronson, Robbie Dupree, Orleans, the John Hall Band, Todd Rundgren, Richie Havens, the Johnny Average Band, and fronted several bands of her own with her current husband of 34 years, an amazing keyboard player, producer, writer, sequencer, Tom Nicholson. Ann currently records, travels, preaches, and leads worship doing gospel with her husband Tom, both as ordained and licensed ministers across the U.S. and the Caribbean. Ann was and still is a member of the original Tulsa Sound, which she considers her greatest musical accomplishment of her life. She remains an Okie through and through. Ann is the proud mother of 5 awesome children, twin daughters, Larry Ann and Shayla, daughter Molly, sons Tommy and Trevor, and one grandson, Paxton. And in 2021, for her outstanding career as a singer, Ann Bell was inducted into the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame.